Hello and welcome back to PHP Basics. My name is Sean. Today I'm going to talk to you about regular expressions, or as it's commonly known, regex. And what regex does is allows you to validate and sanitize your form data by specifying an exact format that it must match before it can be processed. It's also very standardized, so its syntax can be used across various programming languages. PHP and HTML5 just so happen to include this functionality right out of the box. So what is a regular expression? If we look at this string of random characters here, this is the format that this text box has to meet before it will actually process the form correctly. So I've got a standard form down here with an input box and a submit button just called submit. And then I've got some output variables here to display different information on the page. Essentially what happens is once the form is submitted, then it's going to perform a regex match with the regex string coming in the first parameter, and it's going to test that against the value of text. If it is true, then it is going to display this green check mark here. And if it is false or it does not meet this requirement, then it's going to display a red X. Okay, so let me give you a quick demonstration of how that works. If I was to type the word Sean, then it's going to display a red X. If I do Sean@example.com, then we're going to get the green check mark here. One thing that it cannot do, because it's currently not set up for this functionality, is I can't do like Sean.php@example.com because I haven't told it to allow that. So let's go back to the very basics, and I'm going to show you how this works. So when working with regular expressions in PHP, the first thing that you have to do is put in 2 forward slashes. All right, so the format that you have to meet is you'll start the regular expression by using a caret, and then you're going to specify the rules, and then you're going to end that with a $sign. So all of your regular expressions that are strings are going to start here. So what I'll do here is we'll just take some notes. Okay, so the caret essentially means start, the $sign means end, and the brackets are the rules that are applied to one character. So let me show you what I mean by that. So within these brackets, we can specify that this text field can contain characters that are between a lowercase a and a lowercase z. So if I save this and let's refresh our page here, if I put in hello, it's not going to allow me to do that because this only applies to a single character. So if I do the letter T, then it's going to let me do that. Now, if I want this rule to be applied to everything that happens after the first character, all I have to do is put a plus sign. Okay, so we'll say plus just means apply the rule to everything that direction of the rule. Okay, so we'll save this and we'll do our form again. So now I can say hello and it's going to get the check mark. Now, if I type hello with a capital H, it's not going to allow me to do that. So if we want to allow more properties inside of here, all I have to do is simply type capital A to capital Z. We'll refresh the page again. Now I'll say hello, and now I can get the green checkbox. What if I said hello world? Okay, so I can't process that because hello world has a space in it, right? Well, if I want to allow a space, then I do a \s. Okay, so this is kind of like a little cheat sheet down here. We'll say \s is allow white space or spaces. Okay, so now if I process my form, then I'll get the green check mark. Okay, so if I wanted to allow digits, there are 2 ways to do this. I could simply say 0 through 9, which in its current state, if I said like password with a 0 for the O, it wouldn't allow me to do that. But if I save this and do that again, now it's going to allow me to process that. And that's because I'm allowing 0 through 9. Typically what I'll do here is a \d, and this will allow all digits. All right, so we'll go ahead and put this in our notes, allow all digits. Now you can also do here where we're doing like A through Z lowercase and A through Z uppercase, you can also use \w. However, that can introduce problems because that will allow you to use the @ symbol, the caret symbol, \/ So we just want to limit it to alpha characters. All right, so we won't put that. So at this point, I can really type a sentence in here. I could say hello world, and it's going to allow me to do that. But if I said hello world period, then it won't let me do that. Now, a period just means allow all. If you want a period, you have to do a \period. All right, so if I want to allow periods, then I have to do a backslash period. So now if I submit that again, it's going to give me the checkbox. So I can put as many periods in as I want. Now, if I want to allow a certain number of strings, let's say I'm doing like a username submission or a password and it needs to be so many characters, or I want to apply this rule to so many characters, those are actually two separate things. Then I could do in curly brackets that the 3 characters after this rule have to meet this criteria. So I could just say ABC or capital ABC or AB period. But if I do ABC period, then it's not going to work. All right, so I'll go ahead and put this down here as well, that the number 5 in this case would be allow, let's say apply rule to the next 5 characters. If I were to say 2 to 5, then this would apply rule to between 2 and 5 characters. Okay, so like I said, this only applies to the first character. So let me wipe all of this out to where we're back with our basic element here. If I wanted the first character to be uppercase, I would do A to Z. And if I wanted the second character to be lowercase, then I would do lowercase a to Z. And if I wanted the third character to be a numerical value, then I could do it like this. So if I just did ABC, then obviously this is going to fail. But if I meet the rules that are specified in the regular expression, then it's going to work just fine. Okay, so now let's put this to a practical use and let's go back to the email form. Okay, so let me go back and wipe all of this out. So for the first part of the email, I want to allow pretty much anything. Your username, your email could be first name dot last name at something.com.uk or whatever the case may be. So we have to be able to accommodate this for different types of email addresses, especially business email addresses where you'll have underscores and things like that. Okay, so the first part, we're going to allow lowercase a to Z, uppercase a to Z. We're going to allow digits. We're going to allow periods. We're going to allow underscores. And we'll apply that to everything until we get to the @ symbol. All right, so what I'll do here is I'll just copy and paste this. And I'll take this space out here real quick. So basically, we're going to allow any type of character along with a period or an underscore until we get to the @ symbol. And then after the @ symbol, we're going to do the same thing. So we'll put the plus after that until we get to the period. So essentially, right now it's allowing something at something else dot. And that's as far as we can go. Okay, so from this point on, I'll just copy this again. So basically, we can type whatever we want at whatever we want dot whatever we want. However, your domain name is not going to have an underscore or period in it. However, we do want it to be at least 1 character long. So including the period, I'm going to say 2 comma and then plus, which will allow us to do additional characters after that. I will go and put the period back in case we have like a uk.com.uk or something like that. Okay. So providing that my syntax is correct, let me go ahead and refresh this here. And I'll just say Sean at example.com. And now it took it. And that's because we're meeting these exact specifications here. So you can use this to validate phone numbers, email addresses, pretty much anything. So while we're at it, let's go ahead and do this for a phone number as well. So I'm going to say that my phone number format is the American format, which is XXX and then XXX, XXXX. Okay, so this is the format that we need to meet for an American phone number. And that's just displayed right here. Okay, so with my regular expression, my first character has to be a parenthesis. All right, and then I'm going to need 3 digits, so I can specify in brackets the \D, which allows all digits, and I'm going to allow 3 of those. All right, so at this point, if I do a %sign and 1, 2, 3, it's going to accept that. But if I do %sign 1, 2, 3 and another %sign, it's not going to accept that. Okay, so we'll come back and we'll put in the other %sign. And now we're going to do 3 more digits. So I'll do \D for digits, and I'm going to allow 3 of those. And then I need a hyphen. And for the last, I need digits, and I'm going to allow 4 digits this time. Okay. Unfortunately, you can't split a regular expression out, so I could show you like how these look separated. The functionality is just not there for that. All right, so now if I follow the format, I should be able to type 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it takes it. However, if I typed 1-123, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, obviously that's not going to work. Okay, so this is a very basic introduction to regular expressions. If you look at the manual and look at some websites on how complex this can be, you'll realize that it's useful for a lot more things. But what you'll normally use it for the most is form validation. Now, what's really cool about this is you can copy this from the $ to the caret, and we can simply go through our input and type pattern equals and put this in quotes. And we can also apply this directly to our HTML. Okay, so if I were just to type something, it's going to say, please match the requested format. So to kind of help the user out, I could say title equals standard phone format, or actually I tell you, I'll just do the same thing that I've got down here. Okay, so now let me refresh my page again, and I'll just type in something random, and my title didn't take. It's because I missed my equals here. So let's try this again. So please match the requested format. So now if I put in my phone number correctly, 123, 123, 1234, then it's going to process. This can be kind of useless because let me show you. So right now, if I just type something in, obviously it's not going to let me do anything. But if I right click and go to inspect elements, then I can go directly to this element on the page and delete all of this. All right, so now I can submit my form with no problems at all. However, I've still got PHP working in the background as a security guard to not allow that to happen. So the only time that you want to use pattern inside of HTML is just to kind of help your users out and tell you what kind of format you're looking for. That does not mean that it cannot be bypassed. So like I said, this is kind of an introduction to regular expressions. If you have any questions, as always, feel free to throw those in the comments, and I'll see you guys next time.